Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Squares Crochet Along. Today we are making this gorgeous flower square called Moon Blossom. I absolutely love the texture and the way that the petals flip up a little bit once you're done. So let's jump right into it. I have actually already started the first round because it's super simple and I know you guys are all pretty much masters at this by now. So you're just going to chain 6 and slip stitch to your first chain to make your circle. Chain 1 and put 15 more single crochets into your ring so that you have 16 stitches all the way around, okay? So 16 single crochet stitches all the way around pretty much there. And finish that off because we are going to start round 2 with another color. And start round 2 with a standing single crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, skip 1 single crochet from the previous round there, and single crochet into the next one, and continue that all the way around. So chain 2, skip 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and keep going with that until you get back to your first single crochet. Awesome. Once we finish that, we'll have 8 single crochets and 8 chain spaces in our round, and you'll slip stitch to your first starting single crochet there. Now we're going to slip stitch into that first chain space, and we will chain 1 to count as our first single crochet in that space, and then we are going to chain 3 and single crochet into the next chain space, and we're going to continue that all the way around. So chain 3, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain space, and chain 3 all the way until you get to your first starting single crochet. Perfect. So at the end of that, you will slip stitch to the first chain that you made that counts as our first single crochet, and we're ready to start round 4 with a third color. So we are going to start this round with a standing double crochet. If you prefer, go ahead and just slip stitch and chain 3, but here I'll show you the standing double crochet. So pick a chain 3 spot, and with that slip knot on your hook, wrap your yarn around it and just kind of hold it there, and continue like you would a normal double crochet, pulling through, yarning over, and pulling through the loops on your hook. So there's our first stitch in the round. We need to put 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets into each of these chain 3 spaces. Sorry, I was just finding my spot. So 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, and then just jump over into the next one, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets, and just continue that all the way around in each chain space until you get to your first either standing double crochet or chain 3 there that you made, and we will slip stitch to that. Wonderful. Now that round 4 is done, we are going to start making the petals. So we've slip stitched to our first double crochet in our little 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets here. So we are just going to go ahead and work 7 double crochets into this chain 2 spot, because this is the start of our petals here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and after the 7th one, we are going to slip stitch again to the first, like in the next little group of the 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, we're going to slip stitch to that first one again, because then that will make the round of the petal, and then we'll start the new one. So from right here we're going to do another 7 double crochets into that chain 2 spot. Six and 7, and then once again slip stitch to the first double crochet of the next 2 that you made, and we're going to continue that all the way around with 7 double crochets in each of those chain 2 spaces until we get to our first one and slip stitch to there. Perfect. Once you've slip stitched back to the start, we are finishing off that color, and we are done our first little set of petals around. Now we're going to pick up the second color that we use. So for me it's a dark purple. I hate the way it turns out on camera, so I'm sorry about that. But it is just it's a purple to complement the blue. So we are going to join here with a standing single crochet spike stitch between the base of the 2 petals into the slip stitch here, or no, not into the slip stitch, sorry, into the single crochet of round 3 that we did. Okay, so we're gonna just like match those 2 colors. So put your hook in there, and we're gonna single crochet around it. So you're just pulling up a long loop. So you'll have a long loop, and your hook will be back even with your work, and then you'll just continue your single crochet there. And from that single crochet we need to chain 6, and we are going to slip stitch to that first chain of that chain 6 that we just made. So we're just creating a little loop right on top of our spike stitch single crochet. Okay, so you look like there, your little loop on top with your spike stitch coming down into your round, and then from there we're going to chain 4, and that's gonna go behind the petal, because now we're going to do another spike stitch down into round 3 there. So again, bring your crochet hook up so it's even with your work, and just continue your single crochet, kind of like just a long single crochet like we've done. I know we've done a couple of long stitches before like that, so you guys should be able to get this, I am sure. Go ahead and make that next loop on top of the spike stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains, slip stitch to the first to create your loop, and then chain 4, and we'll go across to spike stitch into the next stitch. You might need to kind of adjust your petals a bit to make sure that that chain 4 goes behind your previous petal. So there. Continue this all the way around, and you'll have spike stitches and your little 6 chain loops on top of them. Okay, and then we will slip stitch back to our first starting spike stitch. Awesome. Once we finished off round 6, we have 8 of the single crochet spike stitches and 8 of our little loops, and we have slip stitched to our starting spike stitch. So we are going to chain 3 here, just to sneak across this loop. We're going to skip this first loop for now, and we are just going to slip stitch into this chain 4 space that we made, and then we're going to work into this next loop here, and we're going to put 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets into this loop. So this is the start of our next round of petals here. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, and then we need to work 5 back down. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then go ahead and slip stitch into that next chain 4 space. So there, pretty simple. Hey, there's your first petal. We're just going to continue that all the way around. Work 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets into your next chain 6 loop there, and then slip stitch into that chain 4 space, and continue that all the way around till we can slip stitch back to that beginning that we did. Perfect. Now that we're done round 7, we have our second set of petals, and how gorgeous is that looking? I absolutely love this flower. I do. Now we are going to start squaring it out. Sorry. So to do this, we are going to start with another color here and slip stitch onto your hook, but then we're actually going to remove this slip stitch off of our hook. Just hold it there for a sec and take our square, and we're going to insert our hook. Gosh, of course, the worst color yarn. So the middle 2 double crochets that we made that are in between this chain space there, on the back side we're going to slip our hook through the vertical threads that are kind of there between both of them. So we're kind of connecting that chain together, I guess, and we're going to put that slip knot back on our hook and pull it through. And from there we need to chain 3, and in the middle of the slip stitch between these next 2 petals we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we're going to chain 3, and same as how we started, we're just going to slip stitch behind this petal here again. So between and connecting those 2 middle double crochets in the back of the vertical lines on the thread there, and slip stitch there. And then we will chain another 3, and in this slip stitch we're going to double crochet, chain 4 double crochet. So this is actually our first corner. Oops, see, I lost my stitch. Chain 4, and then another double crochet into that same slip stitch spot. And then chain 3, slip stitch to the back of these petals again, right behind the stitch. And then chain 3, and then in the next slip stitch between the petals we're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet again, because this is just along our side. Chain 3, slip stitch to the back of this petal again, and those double crochets, chain 3, and then work another corner in this slip stitch space here. So double crochet, chain 4, and another double crochet into that same stitch. So you'll see if you lay it down that we'll start to square it out here. Those are the two corners and this is across. So that's what we're going to do to continue all the way around here. So from where we're at, chain 3, slip stitch to the back of that petal, chain 3, and then your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch to the back of that petal, and then chain 3, and then your corner, and so on and so forth until you get back to where we started there. Awesome. So once we finish that round, you can see that we're starting to square out. We can see where our corners are and whatnot. So we have slip stitch to our join, and we are going to chain 1 to count as our first single crochet, and then we need to chain 3, and we're going to skip this chain spot, and we are going to put 1 single crochet in this chain 1 space, and then we'll chain 3 again and skip this chain space, and we are going to work 1 single crochet into the first chain of that next chain space. So we're skipping that whole one here and working 1 single crochet into the first of the 3 chains of this space right before our corner. And then we need to chain 2, and we're going to work in the corner is a 2 double crochet cluster, so almost like double crocheting 2 together, but it's in the same stitch there. So 2 there, chain 3, and then we're going to work, that's supposed to be 3 double crochet 3 cluster, not 2, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll finish it off. So then chain 3, and then we need to do a triple crochet cluster with 3 of them as well. 1, 2, 3, and chain another 3, and then work our 3 double crochet cluster again. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2. So this is our corner all the way around the square. We're going to do that 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 3 triple crochet cluster, chain 3, and then the 3 double crochet cluster again. And then chain 2, and then just like we worked into that chain, we're going to do that again. So into the last of the chain 3 here in this next chain space, work a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 3, put a single crochet into this chain 1 space, chain 3, we're going to skip the first chain 3 space and work a single crochet into the first of the next 3 of that chain space, chain 2, and then work your corner again of that 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 3 triple crochet cluster, chain 3, and 3 double crochet cluster. And you'll continue that all the way around till we get back to our starting bit. Awesome, now that we're done round 9, our square is a square now. We just need to give it one more round to bring it up to size here. So we've finished off after our slip stitch there. Pattern says we can start with a new color. I am actually just going to keep the same color going, I decided, after I even finished it off, so whatever. Oh well, more ends for me. So we're going to start in the corner in one of these triple crochet clusters, and we are going to start with a standing double crochet, or if you prefer, slip stitch and chain 3. So after the standing double crochet, you want one more double crochet in there, and then chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into that same stitch to complete our corner. And then we are just going to go ahead with double crochets all along the side. So we need 3 double crochets into our next chain 3 space here. We're going to put 1 double crochet into the top of our double crochet cluster, 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space here, and then 3 double crochets into these next 2 chain spaces each. So we're going to do 6 double crochets in a row here. So 3 into the 1 chain space, and then 3 into the next chain space. And we're just going to continue that all the way across, so then you'll have 2 in the next chain space, 1 in the double crochet cluster, and then 3 in the next chain 3 space, and then you'll work your corner and finish that all the way around. And there we have it, our moon blossom square. Once you're done that last round, we are going to have 22 double crochets on each side, including the ones in the corner. And it is such a beautiful square. I absolutely love this one. I was going to say it's one of my favorites, but I'm pretty sure I say that every single time. So I hope you guys have had an awesome time crocheting along with me, and we will see you again. Bye-bye.